Since the dawn of humankind, we all have an urge to move, to experience new places, to meet new people, to spread ideas. We transformed how we move around to manifest our destiny. But you know what it's like to lose, to feel so desperately that you're right, yet to fail all the same. There was a choice. There was a choice to bring together those who could see what others couldn't. To see if we could become something more, something nobody saw coming. You are what you choose. You choose to leave the comfort, predict, invent, dread, fail, but not give up. And when it happens, you want to do it all over again. Happiness isn't something one considers when things might not work out. But this, the consequences, that does put a smile on your face. Minus Zero chooses to see what we all want, yet are afraid of the journey it brings. Minus Zero breaks the boundaries that limit our evolution to do the unthinkable. Minus Zero is you.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, technology enthusiasts, and those who have joined our online live event, a very warm welcome to the very first zDay 2023 presented to you by Minus Zero. Today, as we unveil the vision behind our company to the world, we celebrate the relentless pursuit of excellence by the brilliant minds behind this remarkable creation. Minus Zero's team of engineers, designers, and visionaries have toiled tirelessly to bring this dream to fruition. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to the brilliant minds behind the success of Minus Zero, the founders, Gagandeep Rihal and Gursimran Kalra, as they take the stage for the keynote.
Welcome to our first zDay 2023. I can see very notable people in our ecosystem joining us today. We have our special guest, Mr. Chris Gopal Krishnan, co-founder of Infosys, joining us here today. Can we have a huge round of applause for him? Thanks a lot, sir, for joining us. We also have chairman and founder of Curated Ventures, Mr. TCM Sundaram. And also, today we are joined here today by the entire all stakeholders of the mobility ecosystem. From the OEMs, technology partners, media, till every automotive enthusiast, we today are going to usher a new revolution in the history of automotive. We are really excited to host you here today. Today is indeed going to be a historic day, and we can't wait to showcase India's first autonomous vehicle live in action. Before we get into all the tech that we have been working on, it's important to understand, why do we need AVs or AI in the first place? This has been the very question that Gursimran and me had been asking ourselves when we first came up with this idea way back in 2021, when we were nothing more than 2 college undergrads.
Mobility is an integral part of us being human. Taking a bird's eye view, our relationships, our economy, our personal joy are all fostered and nurtured because of our ability to move. The potential to transport ourselves, our goods and services to any corner of the world is the crux of our connected communities. On the other hand, at a personal scale, mobility represents independence and convenience to plan and move around as per our wishes, as per our schedules, is a step towards the ultimate virtue of taking control over time. At a national scale, mobility enables the trade of ideas. Therefore, cost-effective transportation is a limiting condition of any unleashing economic growth. For a developing country in our era, the current mobility paradigm presents a unique situation. Unlike the already developed countries who had to chart a development path based on the currently available technologies, we as India stand at crossroads. We can rigorously study the growth path of advanced economies and choose the state of what we want to become next. Borrowing words from R.M. Ashilkar, we need to pole vault, not just leapfrog. So, thinking of pole vault challenges is not an issue for us. But does mobility makes a worthy sector to seriously consider vaulting? So let's break it down. Every day we travel over 10 billion kilometers on a daily basis. But every movement of ours comes at a cost. This cost need not be always monetary, but in fact, over the course of this keynote, you might observe or you might know that 18 unfortunate people would have lost their lives in road accidents. This is the cost of mobility that we are talking about. A city like Bengaluru wastes 2.5 lakh liters of fuel every hour, every day while being stuck in traffic. Particularly, I am new to Bangalore, but I've already come across the infamous observation that we in the city spends 2 hours to go to the office to work on an app that just delivers groceries in 10 minutes. Sometimes we really need to take a step back and gauge the absurdity we are witnessing. All these costs, all these inefficiencies are the part of today's mobility apparatus. These costs, when accumulated together, leads to a whopping $22 billion of losses to a single nation over a period of 1 year. The real cost of such inefficiencies is our restrained collective growth as humans, which is a limiting factor to the mission of uplifting our fellow citizens.
Autonomous mobility can have a huge impact on mitigating these inefficiencies and transcending towards a very efficient mobility ecosystem for everyone alike. This is the same impact that every big and small player in this industry is chasing. In fact, in developed countries out there, this is equivalent to a gold rush. The irony of the situation is humans designed roads for machines to run. But computers are way well adept to run these machines because humans are more than these machines primarily because they can decide in a very intuitive manner. But there is a con to that thing. We get tired, we feel sleepy, we get drunk. It is always a human element, a human inefficiency that is the cause of all the problems we face. It's natural to understand. If this is so big of a problem, everybody wants to solve it, you do not want to waste your time in traffic, why hasn't autonomous mobility been solved? Why it's such a hard problem? The reason is there's a big difference between what current AI is and how we humans are designed to be. We as humans are super intelligent species. We can adapt, we can learn. We do not have to compromise, we can multitask. But any AI system is more of like a brute force system that will always follow a fixed set of conditions. And if something unknown happens on the road, the system fails, and that is the problem. And that's why this entire industry has already spent over $100 billion in just R&D. And that's why they call autonomous vehicles equivalent to the Apollo mission of AI. But guess what? Everything, all this capital is accumulated in certain developed countries where most of the infra and civic life is already structured. There is a whole world outside those handful of countries where the real problem of mobility exists. A world which is way more chaotic, way more challenging, way more unstructured. A world that we not only find in India, but every emerging country out there. That's why, though solving AVs might be harder here, solving AVs is a bigger necessity.
If it's a $4 trillion mobility industry, 70% of it lies outside of these select nations. So literally, we can say a solution that is built for India is a solution built for the world. And that's what we have been up to at Minus Zero. Not building for some particular locations, but for the world as a whole right here in India.
Definitely when we started, one thing became very clear to us. Autonomous mobility was not a problem of capital, infra, regulations, or the very simplest task of people following rules. It was a tech problem, and it had to be solved with technology. People chose to be an AV company first, and then they decided what kind of AI I should develop, what really I should use. But we knew things had to be done differently. It was a time when we had to become an AI company first, inventing the AI from the ground up for these use cases, and then decide how AVs can really transform. That is what essentially we do at Minus Zero.
We are not automotive manufacturers. We don't build cars.
We build AI. We teach cars how to drive. I had always been intrigued by the sophistication of human brain, the way we decide, adapt, learn. One of the finest examples of nature's engineering marvel had led my research interest into AI and neuroscience from past 5 years. Over the course of time, there was a big insight that we realized. The current AI apparatus, the root technologies are inadequate to match the proficiency of a human mind, a prerequisite to build AVs. No matter how much capital you put, how much sensors you put, if the technology is not right, it can never solve the problem. There were two major bottlenecks in the current AI or for the AI used in AV ecosystem. If you just have a look around the entire how robotics industry evolved, they were inspired from what we call a robotics paradigm, which was primarily designed to work in warehouses, in industries where things are structured, where you can predict very precisely what is going to happen next. But they do not work in the chaos that is in the real world. So, to make up for this uncertainty, you have to add some of the most costliest sensors out there. LiDARs, high precision GPS, employ HD mapping technologies where you literally try to map every nook and corner of the world to a millimeter level accuracy just to drive in a straight line. And this further compounds problems like calibration errors, integration bottlenecks, hardware failures. This hinders AV from being an effective, scalable, or even safe solution sooner than later. And thing is, this approach is very counterintuitive to how a human brain works. You and I never went around and mapped every nook and corner of the world to learn to drive in specific geography. You learn to drive in Bengaluru, you can very well go drive in Delhi without a second thought. You just learn how to drive, and you can use that same learning in other places as well.
But I must say, the past few years have been a great learning experience for the entire AV industry and AI as a whole, with vision autonomy taking the forefront. And we really appreciate the good work that they have been doing to move this away from the robotics paradigm and being the AI-first companies. But this still doesn't solve the entire problems, because there are still major nuances with being the AI-first companies as well. Gagan.
Traditionally, AI works on a principle of rote learning, no matter how much we try to put some very tricky words to just disguise that from all the data it absorbs. Any instance or variation that is not represented in data that the AI model crams, it fails to predict confidently, as simple as that. So, the general consensus, if I ask any person who has been following AI, the general consensus to build AI is you take more data, you take more compute, you create a bigger model, and the benchmarks increase. But do you think at any point, even in next 100 years, any one of you or even the mammoth giants would be able to have enough data that can truly represent every chaos, every variation that can ever exist on Earth in the entire future? Because the way a human brain drives a car is not how currently AI drives it. So, to create a truly human-like AI driver without the inefficiencies of human mind, we need to create what we call true vision autonomy. A safe, scalable, and use case agnostic autonomous vehicle stack using only cameras as their primary sensor suite. I literally mean it when I say only.
So you see, there was a catch. You had to reinvent AI.
So, in the conjunction of the past research that I had been doing, we as a team at -0 had been working extensively to bridge the gap between a human brain and artificial intelligence. Drawing inspiration from the biological brain, we are pioneering a totally new approach to AI that we have hinted about multiple times in the past. Today, we are presenting to the world nature-inspired AI. A set of guiding principles, approaches to help us build truly generalized autonomous agents, human-like AI drivers. And we believe nature-inspired AI is going to usher the next era of disruption to help humanity not safely adopt AI-enabled, but truly AI-driven solutions, and ultimately lead us to the ultimate goal of building artificial general intelligence.
So by now in our journey, it has become very clear why -0 had to exist to solve this gigantic problem. And now, more than else, our conviction is stronger than ever.
1 year ago, this might have been a far-fetched dream. It's been a thrilling journey, I must say. And within an unbeatable span of 1 year, a small team of remarkable people around me, we are here today. Today will mark the next inflection point in the AI and the automotive history. Let us show you the true embodiment of nature-inspired AI for the first time in the history. Ladies and gentlemen,
I'm the idea. To experience, to adapt, to learn. I am the embodied intelligence. I have no form, no shape. I exist beyond the dimensions we experience. I exist so that you could feel safe. I am your helper. I am your companion. I am Z. I'm the idea.
Do you think you came for the car launch? LOL, it's my launch. Hey! Why are you here? This is my limelight. Don't steal the spotlight.
don't worry Z, I think we are going to handle it together. So this was Z, ladies and gentlemen. Z is a true embodiment of nature-inspired AI. Okay. Now, a very basic question might come to your mind. What exactly is this nature-inspired AI? This seems like a concept that comes out of a Tomorrowland. I'll try to decipher it for all of you in as simple way as possible. Nature-inspired AI is a generalized approach to solving any autonomous agent problem statement. Right? How do you define an agent? It reacts to a stimuli, makes some prediction to give a very safe judgment. It could be anything, whether it's robots, or flying taxis, or cars, or even a simplest thing like a chatbot that is going to decide business model for your new startup. Right? Now, but how can AI really do this? Everybody had been interacting with the recent trends in AI that has taken the world by storm, but we know there are certain limitations where it cannot really work. It can tell you information, it cannot reason with you with creativity. And that is where we propose an AI architecture design led by the principles of how a human mind works. So there are three key differences that really define us from the current AI operators. First, generalized representation. Your mind doesn't really cram words, doesn't cram, let's say, doesn't cram images or something. Cramming only worked in one context, that was to write exams to pass. Everywhere else, you had to use judgment and intuition to react in real time. And that you cannot do by hand. That's why you didn't have to cram a million images of a bird for you to be able to detect how the bird looks. Right? The reason is we represent information in our brain on three key principles. One, any representation we have is physics informed. As humans, we really understand how things could behave by the laws of the nature. If you know that the car cannot fly in the sky, it has to be in the road, sky is always up, right? You know if something falls from top, it has to comply with the laws of gravity. That awareness of physics helps you to predict a lot of things in way better sense. Second, context awareness. It doesn't matter to you that it's a car or it's a bike or it's a road or something. You use the overall context to understand whether the decision I'm taking is right or not, no matter how good your driving might be. If it suddenly starts raining, you correlate with either a past, let's say, experience that, okay, I have to be conservative. So I do not have to be too overconfident and just slam my car in something, right? And third, we work in a spatio-temporal time zone, right? We do not plan in a 3D space. We always understand that dimensions of a mind are not restricted to X, Y, and Z axes. We also understand how things move in time, how things are going to behave 5 seconds down the line. And these three key principles allow you to represent things very well. Next thing comes that the way I told you initially, entire robotics paradigm was designed on a principle to work in a structured environment where things are more or less predictable by some kind of statistical modeling. But real world is a multi-agent environment. Everything around you is an intelligent actor in itself that is capable of making its own decision, doing whatever it wants to do. So that's why you cannot really assume that every agent, will it be a car driver or a rickshaw driver or just a dog, will work in a systematic manner. And that is where the chaos originates. And to do that, you really need to understand how you can really predict the behavior of the intelligent actors. And that is where once you capture the learning within the laws of physics, within the laws of behavioral and semantic context, you can better predict the behavior of every agent around you and see how their interaction will impact you. A simplest example could be, you know there is a car in front of you and after a certain let's say distance, there is a speed breaker. You understand that, okay, this car, after a certain amount of time, will come across the speed breaker, let's say 5 seconds down the line, and it will slam its brake. So you know that information in advance, and you use that context to make a better decision beforehand so that you can be safe, not just suddenly, abruptly slam your brakes. And that prediction in the metric space and the time space really allows you to do a lot of things very well. And the final thing, the adaptation. That is a very key principle of how a human mind works. The way you are able to adapt to everything is magnanimous, right? If you learn to drive, let's say, a car of X company, a Y model, if I give you, let's say, some other car, you will not have to relearn your system how the current systems work. You can easily use your prior information to adapt to any new class of vehicle, any new use case, any new geography, and that is what makes a real difference with respect to current systems. And the reason is, if you take any robotics paradigm, whether it's AVs or it's robots or a drone, the actor, it could be vehicle, it could be, let's say, any machine, is always a very important part of the closed loop. And that is where the entire feedback cycle comes. But what happens, we as human do not take feedback from the vehicle. We do not really see the odometer inside the vehicle or an IMU sensor installed inside the vehicle to know, okay, I'm traveling at X kilometer per hour. You deduce that from your visual insight itself, seeing how features, how things move around you. And being able to get that feedback from the world itself through eyes, that makes us able to do any kind of mobility task using only two things, eyes and a brain, which is not the case for any AV company out there, where you literally have to put an kind of infinite number of sensors just to make the entire system predictable. And that is how we define the true characteristics of any good system. If any company, any research organization has to build a truly generalized autonomous agent, it has to abide by these 6 principles. Your agent has to be resource aware, how much compute it has to use. It has to be data aware, what exactly it is learning. It has to be context aware, why it is doing something that it has to do. It has to understand interactions and their impact on you. It has to understand the concept of time, and it has to understand how the outcomes of your decision are going to impact your own system. And that is where, once you have physics enablement, sparse representation, context awareness, another part of the entire AI problem becomes easier. Initially, where you had to collect humongous amounts of data so that you can represent every variation, now that same thing could be done with purely synthetic data that would remove burdenous costs of data annotation, engineering pipelines, because the system understands what part of synthetic data, generative data, is relevant to me and not. And that is where the current boom of generative AI can really help solve safety critical use cases. I understand this is a very intriguing conversation, and we could have gone day and night just discussing that. So, as -0, we are launching a white paper because we believe true innovations are not solved by one man, one company, or certain group of people. It is solved by ecosystem together. The entire AI community has a chance to really build the next inflection point in the journey of the entire AI. And that is, we propose nature-inspired AI, not just an approach that we are using, but also we introduce that as a concept which every AI company should use or build upon. Every AI researcher, AI-based organization should use to build truly generalized agents, autonomous agents that can help the humanity transition to the ultimate goal of artificial general intelligence. So, today we are launching the white paper, Nature's Inspired AI, to the general public out there. Post this event, it will be available on site, on our website, on a lot of these journals, so that it could help not only us, but the entire AI community to evolve the humanity to the next stage where we want to go. Thank you. Now, since we have already talked about a lot of AI and all, but I think many of you are here to anticipate a different form of AI. I do not think you were expecting you will see some kind of cute robot trying to juggle here and there on the screen. I think we should give people what they're actually here to. So presenting Z-Pod, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. I thought you forgot which fecal form factor you had to go in today. Pod, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we present to the world a totally new concept vehicle in the history of automotive industry. We would love to showcase some of the aggressive maneuvers and trials that this vehicle has gone through to be in front of your eyes today. Presenting Z-Pod, a concept vehicle designed to showcase true powers of true vision autonomy. Z makes Z-Pod the smartest vehicle in India, powered by one of the most powerful AI on the edge. Relying only on camera sensor suite, Z can scale all the way up to L5 capabilities built on the principles of nature-inspired AI. Without the need of steering wheel at all, we present to you the most human-like driver on the planet, and you are going to experience it live in action today. Definitely, this is more of an experience. There's a lot of things that go inside the vehicle, inside the brain, that really makes this enablement possible. And I do not think there is more better person to tell you about it than my colleague, Nehal. Nehal, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Gagan.
Thanks, Nehal, for joining me here today. True Vision Autonomy is a cutting-edge technology built in India for the world. coupled with our AV hardware, this can be integrated at the manufacturing stage in any vehicle to help it harness the powers of autonomous driving using only cameras. Designed on the very principles of nature-inspired AI, True Vision Autonomy allows us to enable what had been the biggest barrier in building safe and scalable AVs before.
True Vision Autonomy is agnostic to vehicle form factor. It can be very fluidly adapted to any vehicle without redesigning the whole system due to change in camera orientations and vehicle dynamics. This helps us easily to cater to varied mobility problems like last mile logistics, transportation, and the same software is running all these
Use cases, and that really makes True Vision Autonomy only vehicle and use case agnostic autonomous vehicle stack in the world right now. The nature-inspired AI allows the underlying AI to expand its domain understanding across cities, geographies, terrains, and environmental conditions without the need to learn and relearn, breaking the loop of infinite data. This enables us to showcase full autonomous driving with training data of way less magnitude. True Vision Autonomy is built for the edge. An enhanced suite of algorithms, highly optimized for edge inference, allow us to achieve an end-to-end execution time, right from when the frames are captured by the camera till the time the vehicle gives a decision, and that happens in less than few milliseconds, way faster than what an average human can react with their naked eye. This makes True Vision Autonomy a more reliable real-time system that can react to any dynamic in the environment way better than an average human.
And these complicated set of operations happen on a highly power efficient in-vehicle compute unit that consumes less power than a normal gaming computer that you use to play GTA 5. All this plus the very fact that it's able to do this only using cameras, average GPS, allows you to eliminate LiDARs, GPS RTK, HD mapping technologies, and high precision IMUs.
These factors give us a huge competitive advantage on these three frontiers: modularity, scalability, and affordability. Ever wondered what goes inside your brain while driving? Fortunately, you don't have to. I hope you should focus on experiencing and enjoying the ride. Leave the stars to us engineers. We will handle the wheel while you really enjoy the best of your ride. -0 is not just a piece of software. It has been natively integrated in our hardware design. This includes a very power-efficient in-vehicle computer, few set of cameras, and a very common GPS. So, how does the system work?
Okay, so a set of 360-degree view is taken from the cameras. Our proprietary algorithm perceive the environment, understand the driver area, assess the threats, just as a human understands erratic driving and traffic. This allows us to create a physics-informed 3D representation. And just as humans predict, we predict every context-aware interactions between these vehicles and their impact on our vehicle's decision. This threat map is then used to take a safe maneuver. And just as humans use maps, we use GPS for directions rather than running the whole stack. Continuous visual feedback is taken from the cameras to mitigate real-time variations in the environment. And it improves itself on the go, just as a learning driver learns to make better maneuvers through experience.
To enable this, we not only had to reinvent AI, but also the tools to develop it to be scalable and safe AV software. That includes custom DL runtime frameworks, set of SDKs and real-time operating kernels to the SDKs like ZUI and ZUX that will allow any user of this vehicle to adapt the vehicle or adapt the software to his vehicle and his experience needs. Autonomous vehicle open up a new plethora of possibilities in the way we have been interacting with the mobility operators around us. It redefines the design language that was always incorporated in the ideation process. Thanks, Nehal, for joining me here today. I love to call Abhishek, the designer, the person who has given the curves to this vehicle and the edges to this vehicle to tell you more about the design philosophy. Please welcome Abhishek, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi, man.
Okay. So, think about the cars you see on your daily commute, or the ones that are parked outside when you came here, right? Have you ever noticed why they all have a similar design from past 60 years? It's almost as they come from a same design blueprint, right, Abhishek?
Yeah, that's true. It's actually, if you go to think about it, from the very proportions and the surfaces to the arrangements of the headlights and the fenders, it's almost becoming a tedious job to distinguish one brand from another without being a hardcore automotive enthusiast.
This trend raises an intriguing question. Why do car designs appear and feel so alike nowadays? Just take for instance the very car that you came here in today. The very idea of building a vehicle that had to be driven has always restricted automakers to reiterate on a concept that's already been done before. It has been long decades of evolution rather than revolution.
Our design philosophy is well represented in our concept vehicle, Z-Pod, which we believe would serve as the guiding principles for the next generation of vehicles and define the coming decades in mobility. Designing a vehicle that can drive autonomously is definitely different from the ones which were previously designed, with the constraint of what a driver wants. Instead, now it should be governed more by the experiences for the riders, the environment, and for the very reason we move around.
Definitely. Have you ever paused, by the way, to consider every minute detail that the car interiors have? If you think about it, from the dashboard layout to the placement of buttons and controls, there is a distinct imbalance between the driver's side and a passenger's side. Why?
True. Just take a look at your own car interior or the next one you step into. You'll likely find it to be slightly oriented towards the driver's side. These interiors were designed to be meant for the driver. And the reason for that is because the driver is in control of the experience. This begs for a question. Why does the design aspect, this similar design aspect, seems to be the norm instead of an exception in the automotive industry? It's because these cars were meant to be driven. Because a human can only plan safely in one direction, rather than an autonomous vehicle which basically has more than just two eyes. It can perceive its sides, its front, and its rear all at once. So why not design a car to be more symmetric?
Definitely. And having that capability to make vehicles bi-directional today with AVs can really solve the hassle of rerouting that everyone might have encountered today while coming to this Embassy Tech Village. You do not have to do the U-turns. You do not have to do complicated maneuvers just to avoid a traffic deadlock. Just flip this around and you are ready to go the other way. Why it can't be as simple as that? And this doesn't end here, right?
No, it doesn't. The real benefit of the self-driving technology is to let humans interact with each other the way they were naturally designed to interact. That's face-to-face. The interiors which previously were driver-oriented designs can now transition to user-oriented experience, which would focus more on human interactions and the thrill of actually enjoying the ride.
And I believe that mental comfort is not a luxury, it's a necessity that every one of you here today and watching us online should have. You shouldn't be worried about hassle of driving, that somebody will slam your car from behind. You should be focused on making good conversations, in enjoying the ride, or just a very simplest thing like cool breeze. Today marks the beginning of a new era for OEMs and the automotive design enthusiasts to explore their creativity without barriers. It is very rare for anybody in the automotive industry to get a chance in their lifetime to be able to start from an empty canvas. The future is really exciting. Let me introduce you to Suraj and Gursimran to share Minus Zero's future with all of you. Suraj and Gursimran, ladies and gentlemen. Over to you guys.
Thank you. Thank you, Gagan. Thank you, Abhishek. Wow, the future really looks exciting indeed. Well, now that you have seen what we are up to and the first shape that Z takes, let's take a quick walk into the future. The magnitude of impact that nature-inspired AI and true vision autonomy can have is unfathomable.
With mobility as a service slowly becoming a new normal, autonomous mobility allows you to harness its true potential. With AVs, the entire fleet can operate 24/7 optimally, efficiently, and safely. Lesser congestions and a lot fewer traffic fatalities is the next goal of any country worldwide. We are an AI company at the core, and we are building breakthrough technologies in pursuit of our ultimate goal to make reliable, safe, and affordable autonomous vehicles which could be deployed across all geographies, use cases, and environmental conditions. This is what we are doing at Minus Zero each and every day out. The adoption journey towards L5 autonomy, as they call it, autonomous solution for any time and anywhere, includes much more rigorous research and much more AI breakthroughs. We are on a path to doing the same thing. It requires much more verification and validation strategies as well. It requires much more safety trials as well to make sure that this technology can scale up to entire user-wide adoption. But we still believe we can create an impact today. And how we can do it, Suraj?
Absolutely. And one such use case we have identified is the deployment of autonomous shuttles, which may or may not be the Z-Pod, in campuses, be it residential campuses, industrial campuses, or educational campuses. Currently, there are more than 1,000 campuses in India, spread over 160,000 acres, that use some form of in-campus mobility. Our shuttles could be deployed in those campuses and fulfill the mobility requirements of those campuses. Now, I believe most of us are aware of the drill for booking rides on app-based, ride-hailing apps. Similarly, using such a service inside a campus, it will be as simple. It will be as simple as taking out your phone, calling the vehicle near you, and giving it instructions about your destination. It takes you to your destination safely and very smoothly. It becomes like your personalized driver. It knows all the routes inside the campus, takes the most efficient one, manages and navigates through the traffic inside the campus, and at the same time travels at such efficient speed so as to enhance the life of the battery. Now, we are doing this, we are providing this service for the users. It's not only more convenient and more luxurious, but at the same time, it will be available at such an affordable price that most of us will be able to avail this experience. And alongside, there is one more use case which we have identified. We believe that in this transition towards AVs, adoption of AVs at scale, and also to enable users to get comfortable with such futuristic technologies, there is one use case which could help provide this bridge. A small subset of our true vision autonomy technology can be adopted into the vehicles that are in use today and enable them to have advanced driver assistance features, or ADAS features as we call them. Now, with such a technology that we are providing, we are developing. Drivers can be assisted with this, and the drive could become more safer and at the same time more convenient. Built with the first principle approach, our technology stack that will go into the ADAS systems will be vehicle agnostic. What does that mean? It means that it could be adopted into any type of vehicle by any type of manufacturer. And we are building this technology keeping in mind the very dynamic and very tricky traffic situations that we face in India. Our stack is scalable and modular. It means that there is an ample amount of space available for auto manufacturers for optimization. I know it sounds like a lot, but we have set up experience zones where you could experience some of these technologies firsthand later in the day.
Thanks, Suraj. Yes, it actually sounds a lot when we put it out like this, but we also understand there is still a lot of work to be done in bringing this vision to reality. But with support from all our partners and the entire ecosystem, we believe we can truly achieve this vision together. As a responsible company, we understand that this role is not only limited to building breakthrough technologies, but also helping the regulators and the policymakers draft responsible and safe regulations for the deployment of such new technologies. So, we believe with more advanced and safe technologies and increased user adoption, India will be at the forefront of accepting autonomous mobility in the near future and lead the world with most innovative form of transportation at scale, just like it did with electric vehicles, drones, or even space rockets. As mentioned in the beginning, the impact of mobility, and particularly autonomous mobility, is going to be really gigantic on the entire world economy. But this cannot be achieved by any single company or any country alone. It calls for a collective action by all the stakeholders, be it automotive people, be it suppliers, be it technology companies like us, or be it the media people to create the awareness about these things. Everyone needs to come together to achieve this vision. At -0, we have led and we are leading the way of setting up this entire ecosystem for the very first time in India. And we humbly request everyone who are part of this ecosystem to join the next revolution of mobility and help co-create the future of mobility here in India today. We at -0 believe that actions speak louder than words, and you are really here to waiting some really good action today. I'd like to invite Gagandeep back on the stage to help us conclude this keynote and get the real masala of today. So over to you, Gagandeep.
Thanks a lot, guys. Great. So thank you all for being here today. -0 has already come a long way since we, two 20-year-old undergrads, started this way back in 2021. Today, as we conclude Keynote, we understand the responsibility we have here at -0. What started with a small idea and a hunch, today is positioned to be a forerunner, not in just building a new technology, but also sharing that ideology behind the underlying principles that will not only define next generation of mobility, but the entire humanity as whole. This zDay 2023, we introduce nature-inspired AI, which proposes a more natural, a human-like approach to building generalized AI that can help solve AVs in safe and scalable manner. We showcase true vision autonomy and embodiment of nature-inspired AI, which we know will grow into a human-like, scalable, and the most modular AV stack using only cameras as primary sensors. We have profound understanding that we are still in the early stages for this breakthrough revolution that is going to shape the mobility in decades to come. And some great products will lead the way to this revolution. And we as founders truly believe good products were never built with ideas, were never built with founders, never built with capital, time, or experience. All it takes is the right people with the right mindset to solve the right problem at the right time for mankind. This is the value we breathe in and day out at minus zero. And that is the only reason we have come so far in solving such a tough problem in short span of time. Yes, times had been tough. This may be the smallest of all teams, but this is a kick-ass, remarkable team. No, it's not an easy journey, but it seems right when you all are there for a single vision to create an impact on the entire humanity. One more thing. It is just a beginning. zDay is much bigger than just day, just 2 or 3 hours of your precious time at minus zero. This is a series of rapid and evolutionary innovations that define who we are as a company and as people. We are truly reinventing AI from ground up, and I will not hesitate to say what we aspire to be in next 5 years. We believe minus zero could potentially be leading AI innovation in India more than any other company that exists in India right now. With that being said, zDay 2024 is not too far away. Stay tuned. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for being such a wonderful audience. But the show is not over yet. Aren't you all excited to see India's first autonomous vehicle in action? The test drive will begin shortly. Now, I request everyone to head outside where you can interact with the founders and enjoy the refreshments and appetizers. And for those who wish to experience the Z-Pod, the vehicle will be available at a later point. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Hello, sir. Uh, yes. Hello, everyone. Hello, sir. Can you please state your name for the camera?
Rajesh.
Yes. Hello, sir. So, you've just witnessed India's first autonomous vehicle showcase. How do you feel about it? What was your experience? Do you think that this will be a big success?
See, I think what I really liked about is the vision of nature-inspired AI, right? And I have been in this field for some time. So what I really, because I'm intrigued by the vision, but what I want to really understand is that the human minds, approximately, I would say like 2 hours.
2 hours. And how much of that is in traffic? And how much time do you lose in traffic?
Maybe I think if traffic is not there, maybe I could have saved half an hour probably.
Yeah. So, don't you think you could have been much more productive in those 2 hours?
No, I think I'll be much more productive even if there is no traffic. I think the idea of autonomous vehicles is truly nice.
Yeah, so if you don't have to drive your own vehicle, that means, and if you see the model, two seats face each other so that you can do anything you want while you're in the car, like travel, like talk to other passengers, do your own work. Doesn't that intrigue you? Doesn't that make you more excited?
Absolutely.
Yes. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check.
Shaman.
Yes, hello, sir. So, how could you tell us about your experience? What did you feel when you saw the showcase that happened inside?
And it was a very proud moment because coming out of India, that's fun. And the best part was like it's the 20-year-old guys doing all the stuff. So it's very inspiring.
So, what intrigues you the most about this product?
I mean, how this is going to change the future of mobility in India, especially in Bangalore. We all create a lot of ruckus about the bad traffic and everything. If some part of it can be solved using such kind of technology and AI in the future, I mean, nothing can beat that.
That is very
I've seen it a little bit. I think it was quite interactive. The video and the car coming out of behind the showcase. So yeah, it was probably I will wait for it. Yeah.
So, if we gave you a chance to leave your own personal vehicle and take the Z Pod home, would you do it?
Home.
Like travel in the Z Pod, would you do it?
It can handle the traffic outside as a Fiat with a 30-kilometer speed. It will take me a long time to reach my home. But yeah, someday, for sure.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Hi, ma'am. Could you please state your name for the camera?
Yeah, Ekta Shah. Pune.
Hi, ma'am. Are you in this industry?
No, I'm actually maybe I actually got introduced to a company from one of the investors. So I was invited for this event to just see the potential and maybe be a potential investor in the company. So I'm here just to see the launch and enjoy the day actually.
That's great. So, did you enjoy? Do you like what you've just? Did you like what you just saw inside?
Yeah, I really liked what I just saw. It's really exciting to see a company do this in India. It's a huge milestone for us as Indians to have a company like this. I've always heard the Googles and the Apples talk about it. So it's so exciting that an Indian company has been able to take this step. And it's a part of history today. So I wanted to witness it. So it was really nice to be here. And congratulations to the whole team of Minus Zero to come to this milestone. And I think there's an exciting future for them. And it's going to change the landscape of mobility in the years to come. So it's a great day.
Ma'am, what intrigues you the most about the Z Pod?
I think it's all the statistics also that have been spoken about how dangerous our roads have become. And I think the Z-Pod, because it's also going to be AI, it's AI enabled, it's so convenient where I can just put in a location and it's going to do all the work for me. And I can really enjoy the ride, as they said. And I like the design. I like that it looks really airy and breezy. And I think Z is an exciting character, and I think it's all coming really well together, and it seems really comfortable to sit in it.
It actually is. It's actually designed in such a way that it's more rider-centric and not, not that the whole burden is on the driver. So now that, it's more rider-centric and the seats are arranged in such a way that you can face each other and talk to each other or do more work, I think you can be much more productive, especially on Bangalore roads.
Yeah. I think anywhere, like in my city, Pune, it's quite a mess there too. So I think any big city has these problems. And I think it's a really exciting future for us. Yeah, and to be part of it has been great.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you.
ಒಂಚೂರು ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಚಾನಲ್ಲು. ಈ ಚಾನಲ್ ಓಪನ್ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಹಲೋ ಹಲೋ ಹಲೋ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಮ್ಯೂಸಿಕ್ ಇದು. ಹಲೋ, ಹಾಂ ಓಕೆ. ಮಾತ್ರ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಸರ್ ಮೈಕಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಮ್ಯೂಸಿಕ್ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡಿ. ಸರಿ ಸರಿ, ಅದು ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಮೈಕ್ ಬರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಮ್ಯೂಸಿಕ್ ಕಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ. ಮಾತಾಡುವಾಗ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಬಿಡಿ. ಈಗ ಮ್ಯೂಸಿಕ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಚೆಕ್ ಚೆಕ್. ಇವಾಗ ಖಾಲಿ ಟೈಮಿಗೆ ಮ್ಯೂಸಿಕ್ ಇರಲಿ, ಮಾತಾಡುವಾಗ ಮೈಕ್ ಯಾರು ಇವರಲ್ಲ, ಮುಗಿಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
case, will on the, to solve the campus and parks everywhere, and the can move around the people, other people. So it will give some jobs, but in life is good for the for the
The test drive that is going to happen.
yeah, definitely. We've seen it's quite interactive. We do of that was probably home.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Please state your name for the camera.
I've always heard the Googles and the Apples talk about it, so it's so exciting that Indian
still going on, so if you're interested, please do it. Please do take an experience of our culinary experience. But anyways, we request everyone to come on this side of the track because the test drive is going to begin soon. And while that is happening, we have Gagandeep and Simran with our guest of honor.
Thanks everyone for joining us here today. I think we are right now here to witness a miracle in the history of mobility in India. Problem statement that when you talk to anybody, the first answer would always be it's at least 50, 60 or 70 years away. I think, and that is what we believe is a true sign of the way India is heading. From being always a technology adopter from the West, I think right now we're in good times. And the research, the breakthroughs are being done, which will really position India not as a technology adopter, but also can build technologies that can be built in India for the world. So definitely, I think without any further ado, I think let's get going with the very thing that really was to captivate everybody. So I like to, it's on. Yeah.
So I'd like to invite Mr. TCN Sundaram, founder and chairman of Keynote Ventures, to come and share a few words, and let's get started with the ride.
I think it's both for Indian technology industry as well as global automotive mobility industry, where the whole autonomous vehicle paradigm is being disrupted by minus zero. And I think minus zero has potential to lead it, not only in India and also globally. And like I think Gurusim developed countries, whatever technology is built, is generally for the top 2 billion who can afford anything. But actually what is being done in India can disrupt for the rest of the world and go back to the developed world as well. And I congratulate Gagandeep and Gursimran and the Minus Zero team for a phenomenal job that they have done, and it's only a beginning.
Thanks a lot, TCM sir, for the kind words. I think now is the time that we all had been waiting for. So today, 4th of June will mark the first autonomous vehicle ride in the history of India that hasn't been done in some kind of first time in the history of India that you are not going to watch it on screen. But 200, 250 people here will be those exclusive few who are going to witness India's first AV ride live in action. And I would request Mr. Chris Gopal Krishnan sir to have the privilege of being the first person to take that ride. He had been one of those which really took India from traditional company. Like when he co-founded Infosys, I think that was a time when India started adopting technology. We started becoming technologically aware. I think right now he should be the right person to really have the privilege of this moment at the next level of disruption in Indian mobility industry. Sir, would you like to say a few words before you have the ride?
Thank you, Gagandeep, and thank you, Team Minus Zero. I think you said it, it's a privilege for me to be here today to see, to experience the first ride in an autonomous vehicle designed in India, designed by youth. These are the moments where, the new India is emerging. The new India that's confident, the new India that's audacious and ambitious, the new India that's not afraid. They're courageous, and they dare to dream that they can beat the world. So I'm really looking forward to taking the ride. You know, it's like I still remember when 1969, I got an opportunity to be at the United States Information Center in Trivandrum to see the Apollo 11 moon landing, right? It's a similar feeling here, right? And at that time they said, I think, small step for mankind, right? So I am feeling just like that at this point. A small ride for me, but a giant leap for mankind and for India, for India. So wish you all the best, and thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to be part of this and the privilege to have this ride. Thank you all very much.
Definitely. And sir, like you said, Z is not really a machine. It's a vehicle that you can really interact with. I would really request if you can summon the vehicle to come and give you a ride.
Sure. What should I
Z can understand anything.
So, Z-Pod, please come. Let's take a ride.
And there is, yeah, sir. Can we come a little bit forward? There it is. So I would request TCM sir and Chris sir to please have the first seat.
So here we go with the first AV ride of India on 4th of June 2023. Mark the beginning. Guys, please give it a space. I request you all to get on the track, on the right side of the track, so that it can move efficiently.
Hello, everyone. Please note there are two big screens onto your right and onto your left where you can see very clearly the path of the Z-Pod. We request you to clear the track and move on to the footpath where you can watch the Z-Pod on the big screens.
So guys, if you're wondering how everything is happening, there are around 6 cameras inside the vehicle, which is capturing a 360-degree view of the vehicle, and they're trying to plan its maneuver on its own. Now it's going to make a very bumpy jump, which actually it did very perfectly. It's first left turn of the vehicle.
Since the vehicle has maneuvered to another path, we request everyone to move on to the footpath where you can see the path of Z Pod on the big screen. Look to your left, look to your right. There are 2 big screens. Thank you.
If you wouldn't have noticed, it actually made a overtake to a single vehicle. It's a wide turn which is about to take. And here it comes. Okay, there is a bike driver in front of it. Let's see if we can avoid it. Guys, please give a huge round of applause for the first AV ride of India. So these were the 600 meters of the first AV ride in India.
Hello, sir. Welcome back. Could you please share your experience? How was it riding in India's first autonomous vehicle?
History in the making, I hope. And then I can claim that I was the first to ride. Was very smooth. One or two bumps, I think it didn't probably notice, I don't know. But otherwise, very safe, very smooth. Enjoyed the ride. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So do you think the future of India is going to change with this innovation, especially that it's in India?
I definitely believe that future will change. One, this vehicle really taking off and making autonomous autonomous driving synonymous with India itself. Right today, it's seen as something that comes from the valley, right? So the Silicon Valley of India, Bangalore, right, will become the home of autonomous technology, autonomous driving, etc. Second, the mindset change that's required, that we can do things in India that nobody else has done. You said it, right? We are builders of technology, we are creators of technology, not adopters of technology. I think we need to believe in that, and I think what you're doing here will make more people believe in this and will inspire more youngsters. Of course, you are young, but I truly believe that it'll inspire more youngsters to try different things. Thank you.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you for your inspiring words.
Thanks a lot, sir. And also, if we can ask TCM sir also to share the same experience. He had been one of the earliest backers of us. I think it would love to know how was his viewpoints on this first AV ride.
Yeah, one of the things I keep telling about minus zero is also that Gagan and Gursimran are people who are born in this millennium. It requires that audacity to think very differently, to be the creators, to change the world.
Thanks a lot, sir. I think now it's basically we will have the vehicle back on the main stage where everybody will be able to experience, sit inside, and also experience what all technologies goes behind the vehicle. Definitely, I do understand there are a lot of people who want to have a ride, but considering the entire event, the vehicle had to cover on a single charge. So there are certain constraints, but we are planning to hold a lot of more experience centers at different places across India where everybody can have their exclusive moment in the autonomous vehicle. Yeah.
I just request one last picture if we can have it together with this. Thank you everyone for taking out the time and witnessing this. So now I request everyone to please gather inside. We have a lot of experience centers planned for you where we showcase how this actually was being done. Multiple technologies are in place for you, and the lunch is also ready if you guys want to have it. Please, let's go. So the vehicle will be there on the stage as well for clicking pictures and everything. So I request you all to please gather back. Thank you.
Is the lunch AI-based or it is?
Right now it's human based.
We hope maybe next time and robot could be cooking for you.
On the next zDay.
Hello, everybody. May I have your attention, please? The experience zones will open in another 10 minutes. We request you till then to go up and enjoy the appetizers, refreshments, and network with everybody. Thank you.